Questions are important, not simply because they invite answers. They are important because they have the potential to do much more. Questions are valuable for many reasons. For one, it is one of the ways Jesus often used to engage the people who were with him. Questions challenge our expectations, the way we look at life, our faith, and so much more. This is the reason why we are asking questions week after week. We're not just trying to learn new information, but we want to enable our faith. I believe this is one of the reasons why Jesus asked many questions. For example, the very first question Jesus asked in the book of John was, "What do you want?" This is a profound question that should be treated with care. It is not as simple as rushing in to answer as if you would a trivia, but rather it appears its intention is to have you reflect on your relationship with Jesus. In other words, the text seems to be saying, you want to follow me, but why? As opposed to getting the right answer, wrestling with this question helps you determine where you are in your walk with God. For example, if I asked you what you did with your parents last weekend, how you answer tells me a lot about what your relationship is like with them. In many ways, it is even more important than the answer itself. If you told me,
"We went to Disneyland,"
I would assume your relationship is pretty good. And if you answered in a negative way, I would assume that your relationship needs work.
"I made my family disappear."
Likewise, how you answer a question tells you a lot about your relationship with God. If you answered, "Hey Jesus, I want to follow you because I want to be happy," this gives you an indication of where you are in your faith, your expectations, and even the way you think about God. So as a reminder, these videos are not meant to answer the questions for you. They are meant as a conversation starter between you and the Lord. So Jesus doesn't simply care about answers. Almost always when he asks a question, he is focused on how people relate to him. A good example of this is in John chapter 6. In this chapter, thousands and thousands of people came out to see Jesus because of his miracles. And when it was time to eat, the disciples were faced with a task of feeding over 5,000 people. It says, Jesus asked Philip, "Where can we buy bread to feed all these people?" It also says Jesus said this to test Philip. But he wasn't expecting Philip to just provide the right answer. Rather, he was looking to see if Philip had confidence in who Jesus was. In other words, the point of the question was not aimed at getting the right reply. It was aimed at getting him to enable his faith. In the same way, when we think about these questions week after week, don't always rush to jump to the right answers. Chances are you already know what the answers are. So the main focus should be to enable your faith. You do this by being okay with the process. Stay in the fight as you work these things out. Ask yourself some questions, like, do I really believe what I am saying to God? Because many people in the Bible who appear to know all the right answers were overwhelmed by their lack of relationship with God. So what questions are being asked in your life right now? Remember, the questions of the Bible are not intended for you to be studious. The questions of the Bible are intended for you to draw closer to your Creator. Lastly, let me end with these words. Wrestling with your heart is greater than filling in the blanks. Be okay with being with God, even when the journey ahead of you is long. Don't rush to end a conversation when your questions are just the beginning.